3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. It's Gangnam Style. We are
What?
back with a new
Really?
episode.
That's what you're gonna do?
Oppa Gangnam Style.
Of
you know?
Gangnam Style. Before we get this episode started, we are on 3 different streaming platforms. If you didn't know that already, not only are we on YouTube, but we are also on iTunes, Spotify, and what is it called? Podbean, which is the hosting site. So
Wouldn't that be
if you would rather not listen on YouTube, there are a few different options. Just look up Reviews from the West, and if you're on iTunes, please if you could be so kind, leave us a little review or a star or 2 on there.
Help
That'd be very
us.
cool. It'd be a lot of help. So
Yeah,
anyway, let's get back.
You could let us know that Nick's opinion is wrong.
Yeah, every episode, just let us know.
Yeah.
Everyone get in the comments and tell him to start the shows from now on.
No, that's cool. It's fine. I love being the punching bag.
So anyway, we are here again with 2 films. As always, one of them is Nick McCann's choice.
Yes. One of my choice is 2007's I Am Legend. And the other one comes special request from Johan. Johan, if you're out there listening, thank you. We'll also be talking about 1984's The Terminator by James Cameron.
Cool. So how is everyone doing recently?
I can't complain. Gonna graduate college here soon.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, my 2-year at Shoreline Community. Represent.
Are you leaving with a certificate or what?
Yeah, I forget exactly what it's called. It's the AAAS in digital filmmaking. Yeah, it's
nice.
It's been a nice few years. Met some great people, such as the dude guest starring in this episode and others, and learned some great stuff. And it was just a nice school. Very glad I went.
Excellent.
Gang.
Excellent. And Chase, you are back again. Thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure. I'm couch surfing. I'm just gonna stay on the reviews couch for the unforeseeable future. I'm not paying rent, squatters' rights, you know.
You're a permanent, non-permanent guest.
Word, I'll take it.
Sick, man.
You're paying rent.
Yeah. Okay.
Ryan, how goes it?
Me. Goes well. It's rainy outside.
Yeah.
Yes. You were just down in Seattle.
Was.
You visited Chace.
Full of rioting and looting, right?
Oh yeah.
Staging
when
area for the
warlords
revolution.
let me sit in the tanks. They let me fire RPGs and cop cars.
There you go.
Got some AKs and some helicopters.
Can I come?
Yeah, it's chill. Chaz is cool. It's laid back. It's just a bunch of people. There was a people organizing to do a silent march. When we got there, they went out. I took some pictures, and there's little vendors set up selling food. There's medical tents.
Yeah.
This is the first time in Seattle history I saw people, not public servants, but just civilians, just cleaning the street.
Oh man,
never seen that before. It's just people just clean it by their own accord. They're like, it's messy, I'm gonna clean it.
That's great.
It sounds good. When I was there earlier this week, that was when they were setting up the booths and the food stations, and what a weird but awesome situation. Not the situation's awesome, but it's really cool that the community is coming together and making it helping others and providing support and information.
This is the natural progression of things. It's like we don't have to get into it, but when stuff falls apart, we're at a point in society where it's so modernized that we kind of understand roles and what to do when stuff doesn't work anymore.
That's
basically
look at it.
We'll be ready for an apocalypse when it strikes.
Like I Am Legend.
Like I Am Legend.
Oh, now that's a segue.
Terminator.
That's a segue. So I guess we're gonna tackle I Am Legend first.
But no, I'm glad you went down there because it's I think everyone should go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Social media was just too much. It was just we had to go. We're like, you know what? We have to actually be witnesses because this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's for sure a safe zone.
Absolutely, it's safer there than honestly, it feels safer there than anywhere else in the city. Like there were just people being chill, hanging out, getting food, talking to people. People brought their kids, in pictures
Wow.
with the closed up police station.
Not
Yeah.
a cloud of tear gas in sight, huh?
Oh no.
No cops in there. They're not allowed in there. And
Wow.
you go outside of Chaz, and there's sirens going off, people getting arrested, people are in car accidents, and it's like, well,
Wow.
all right.
So
There's
what I
no
yeah.
we have a
A
very gnarly homeless and drug problem over here. It didn't
Yeah.
seem to be in Chaz. Didn't see that.
Wow.
A lot of
Mhm.
vagrants outside, but not in there.
Another
That's
question
weird.
I had too, because Stephanie did not see any because I heard there were armed civilians.
Who's
Like
Stephanie?
Mhm.
and I was wondering if you saw any armed civilians walking around?
No
No?
guns.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
that's
chill people being chill.
and not like that's not chill, but I just heard that there was like a presence out there, just like kind of a protection, if you will. So
Yeah, no, there
interesting.
were like quote unquote guards at like the barricades and stuff, but no weapons or anything. They're just there to move them for cars to get in and out.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. Right on.
That's happening stuff. We'll have to talk more about that off the air.
So what film would you like to I take it we want to talk about films now, or
Yeah.
are we
It
good?
sounded like we were going toward I Am Legend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does that
All
sound
right,
good
let's
for all
do
you
it.
guys?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Break it down here. So in the far future of 2012, a virus derived from a cancer vaccine ravages America and possibly the world. In New York City, the lone survivor is Lieutenant Colonel Robert Neville, creator of the vaccine. Finds himself surviving day to day with his dog Samantha, battling not only the elements but the infected that have taken to inhabiting the buildings and coming out when night falls. As he's doing this, scavenging supplies and just going day to day, he's desperately trying to find a cure to right the wrong that has killed so many people.
Bazinga. So Chase.
Anybody read the book?
Oh.
I was about to say this.
I was really thinking about it. I was at Half Price Books, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I Am Legend was a book, but I didn't remember if it was or not. And you know, I don't. It's not like I always have like a computer in my pocket at all times. You know, so I didn't look it up.
Right.
Bummer.
So yeah, this was based off a book, and not only that, this has been adapted twice before this movie came out. So just a quick recap of that. In 1964, there was The Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price.
Oh.
That one was not too bad, I feel. One of the more decent 60s horror movies. I mean, might not be nothing special in the grand scheme, but it is very inspirational. And Vincent Price, can't go wrong. And then there was 1971's The Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston. A bit more schlocky and action-packed. The Robert Neville character was a lot more trigger-happy in this version, but still, it's a lot of fun, mainly just from watching Charlton Heston walk around this desolate version of Los Angeles, I think it was. Or one of them. Yeah, that one's a lot of fun. And then comes this version, starring Will Smith and directed by Francis Lawrence.
Yeah. Chase, did you say this was your first time seeing it?
Yeah, it was actually. I watched it this morning on my way to Cheney in the car.
Did you watch it on your phone?
I watched it on my phone. Yeah.
Dude,
but,
if David Lynch was here, he would have to have some words.
Yeah,
have you
I
seen
know.
That video?
Me too, man.
I have, but here's the thing: I watched it with headphones. I watched it with some nice Audio Technica headphones, and I have an OLED screen, so
Okay.
it wasn't a horrible movie. It wasn't a horrible movie experience. My screen isn't that bright, so I had to like cover my face with like a sweatshirt so that it would be dark. But I think I got the full taste of the film. I think I want to watch it again to see the quiet parts. I mean, there was music in the car going on and stuff, so like the quiet parts weren't necessarily quiet.
Yeah.
So I think I want to give it another shot. watching it at home with like the sound bar and like a nice TV and stuff like that.
For sure.
But I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I think it got the point across. I don't think I was turned off from the film from watching it on my phone.
Got it.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
So Ryan and Nick, have you guys seen this in the last 10 years? Because I don't think I have.
Yeah, I haven't revisited it in quite a while. Not since I saw it in theater. I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this, and I'm glad you mentioned it because it's one that I think I've probably maybe seen a handful of times, but it's been so long. Although I still remember a majority of the film, even though it's been like 10 years.
Yeah,
same somehow.
Yeah, I know. Did this hold up for you guys?
I think so. Yeah, this is a damn fine film.
Yeah, Ryan, what do you think? Uh-oh.
I definitely liked it more back then than now.
Oh wow.
It's still good.
Okay.
But still good.
Yeah, for sure.
Will Smith be charismatic? He still be that.
He do be charismatic.
Yeah,
that's true.
Charismatic, even when it's literally just him, which is fucking frustrating. Like, how can you be that good? You know?
No, able to carry the movie, not with even. Well, I mean, despite later in the movie, but like he's able to carry the movie without any assistance to be led. It's nuts.
It's crazy. He was extremely good. Like,
that's what I was about to say. Because everyone knows Will Smith, but people know him more in the Independence Day, Men in Black sort of way. But this is a lot more hefty of a role for him to take on, and he does it amazingly, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I was really impressed. Just knowing that, or just still being, I don't know, the fact that I was still into it after that long of a gap of seeing it. I was just really happy that I was still into it, and I don't know. I think it's pretty damn good. I'm happy with
another thing it has going for, I feel, this feels kind of different from other blockbusters of the time. Even nowadays, it's still got kind of an identity because it's one character a lot of the time. One character and his dog. There isn't dialogue in guiding you along a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And it's got a unique atmosphere for such a large movie, and yet at the same time a very intimate movie.
I agree. It's very intimate at times, and it's got kind of like an indie film feel to it on like a huge budget.
Absolutely.
Because it seems like one of those movies where I think it was like 26 days later, something like that.
28 days later.
28 days later, where the intro of the movie is just this dude alone.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm thinking of the right movie.
You're correct. You're correct.
He's alone for like, I'm pretty sure it's like for the first like 20 minutes, the guy's by himself.
Yeah.
And it feels kind of like that, but of course larger and on a bigger scale because it's Will Smith. But
yeah,
it still, it was, I was noticing that as well as it.
Uh-oh.
It's obviously got that blockbuster feel to it. Did I cut off? My screen closed. It went on here. Sorry. Let me plug my computer.
Technical difficulties. Stand by, audience.
I do really like the way the movie opens. You just know I don't know what it is about it. Just the atmosphere of the sounds of like nature and just these lonesome shots. There's just something about it that I like every time I start it.
Yeah.
The sound design was incredible in that opening scene. Just the echo of the engine,
the car engine
from his car, the birds, and even the look of the city is pretty phenomenal.
Oh, the color palette is.
Oh, dude, what was it? Sunrise? Just
sunset.
There, even like fucking 12 years old, it looks good. I'm like, this looks pretty good.
Yeah,
it is wicked.
The VFX can be like a little shoddy, but like for 12 years old, it's pretty damn good.
Like on the Infected, it gets a little.
Yeah,
it's definitely aged, but the environments I thought were pretty impressive.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the VFX are definitely still fine, but I think I would have preferred practical actors wearing makeup.
I think for this, the type of it's obvious that they had a type of zombie they were going for.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have worked for practical.
I don't think it would have worked. Yeah.
Well, everything else is holding up so well in the movie, like the production values and even like the background sort of thing. That stuff is fine, and just there's more of an authenticity to this. There's a lot of authenticity going on. Just if the Dark Seekers were if they were actual people running after Will Smith, I think it would have pushed it even further into selling this believable world. And it can't be done. If you look at even Train to Busan, they had scores of zombie extras running after the actors. It was incredible to look at.
But I don't think they're running as fast as these guys.
I also don't think I don't think it's the amount that I'm talking about. I think when they scream, their mouths are significantly opening larger than normal humans. And I think for at this day and age, or the time that it was in, because it's what 2000. It took place 2009.
Well, yeah. Well, the movie was made 2007.
2007. Yeah. Okay, so for 2007, they wouldn't be able to do partial CG on a mouth and make it look good enough to be able to use a practical person.
Well, what I feel maybe you could still achieve that with a person, because there are people like I'm sick of saying by the way. There are people out there sort of along the lines of body contortionists, and you got people like Steven Tyler that have like the widest jaws in history. You could find some people to.
They should have got Steven Tyler as the main infected leader.
By a goddamn second. Beat me by a second. Just Steven Tyler's running after Will Smith.
That'd be funny, but that highlights my point. Those people are out there.
Exactly. I do hear what you're saying, although I don't think that you could get that many people. I mean, you could use one guy like fucking Andy Serkis to do a bunch of, mocap, but I think having the and this isn't me saying that I think what they did was wrong. I think what they did was totally justifiable for what they needed to do. I think these people just looked they needed to look like enough unhuman, and I think if they used people like real actors for it, it wouldn't have came across that way, because they're also taller.
Having them CG definitely plays in favor for the uncanny aspect of them.
Absolutely.
I think like you said, plays in favor. I think it's a positive thing.
I agree.
I agree too, and it may sound like I'm against the CG route. And like I said, it's done fine though. It's done pretty good, and it still holds up fairly well.
But you would just prefer if it were practical.
Yeah, because it seemed a lot more easy and saved them a lot more work.
Yeah, that was back in early 2000 though, when it was like that was kind of the theme. Like everyone was like, "Oh, we're jumping on board the CGI boat, let's go!" And then it sank.
Now everyone's pissed off about it.
Yeah, go back to practical.
I mean, I think I think practical effects look better in my opinion, but there's some stuff you can't make practical.
There is a value in CG, nevertheless, of course.
Absolutely. I have CG background, so I completely feel that. But at the same time, I do think that companies they put their money on, well, not actually put their money on, but they put all their eggs in the basket of, we'll make this look good in CG, and then underpay the CG artists, and then rush them, and you get something like the end of Black Panther.
Yeah, preach it, brother.
So But that's my 2 cents about the whole VFX thing.
Sure. But the VFX I did like
my,
though.
My participation trophy for my argument later.
Gotcha. But yeah, but not all the VFX are terrible though. I love seeing the backgrounds in this movie when he's in Times Square and you just see the expanse of down the streets and whatnot.
City looks great all the way
through.
through.
It looks great.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Going back to the opening scene, it is really freaking cool because it starts off really bombastic. He's chasing a herd of deer in a Ford Mustang, trying to machine gun them.
Like a bright red Mustang.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I know, talking about an advertisement.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that was, by the way, I think that was also kind of a tribute to the Omega Man because the start of that movie, Charlton Heston's driving a red Cadillac, just patrolling the city for Darkseekers. So I thought that that might have been something going on there. So yeah, he's driving around the car and then he gets out to stalk a deer through Times Square, and then just about he's gonna make the kill shot. The lion comes out, and that's an effective opener. I loved it.
I think so too because it has the it's not just one lion, it's a lion family.
Yeah.
And I think that's because he was like, I'm gonna shoot this lion, and then now I got a lion and a deer to eat, but then he saw that it's a little bit of foreshadowing his backstory.
Yeah, that's what I love in this movie, and that's why I think it's different from other blockbusters. Visual storytelling.
I like the fact that it wasn't, what happened to your family? It was like he has nightmares about them every night, and I think it doesn't feel like a cop out. It feels real because I feel like anyone in a situation like that, your loved ones are going to think about during something like this. So
yeah. Plus, too, those flashback scenes were placed in really great spots, in my opinion.
I loved it. They were incorporated so well.
I wasn't expecting to get any much emotion out of this besides the dog scene. Spoiler alert! But
yeah, we're doing spoilers here.
Those flashback scenes and kind of the relevancy of quarantine and fear of getting sick and family members getting sick, it really had an effect on me. I was
yes,
I was really feeling those scenes.
And I don't know if you guys know, but his daughter was his actual daughter.
Yeah.
It's actually
I thought it was Jaden. I thought that was
no. They look really similar when they were younger.
Okay.
But it's Willow Smith.
That makes sense.
His daughter, and I think this is her first. I mean, she's like 4 years old, so I think it's her first acting role. So that's pretty cool. Starting the Smith family off young.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dad.
But,
I like the flashbacks at the Brooklyn Bridge. Actually, strangely, they remind me of Cloverfield in a way. The whole mood
absolutely.
Yeah, the scores of civilians being evacuated, military presence, that whole feeling that we got to get the hell out of this city. Disaster's right behind us. It was a really cool atmosphere going on. This whole movie is atmospheric as hell in every capacity.
Yeah, totally.
Whether it's one of the bigger set pieces or just a quieter moment, atmosphere on point, bro.
Yeah, I have a question for the three of you.
Yeah.
What would you say the theme of this movie is?
The theme of this movie. Well, there is a thing that comes up later about listening for signs. I guess
religious symbolism later on.
There's a lot of religious symbolism.
But I think there's kind of a theme of, I guess, things just work out because the whole movie, Neville's trying to find a cure. He's experimenting in his lab. He's going through on the rats and eventually on a Darkseeker he captures. And he's going through all the different medical trials trying to reverse this whole thing. He feels like he's responsible for this outbreak.
Yeah, because he's immune.
He's the only immune person. So he tries and tries and tries. He keeps getting handed bad luck because the Darkseeker resists the new compound, so on and so on. And it seems like there's no hope. And then eventually it just turns out good. or something. I guess that's what I take
I'd say
away.
the theme is definitely holding out hope. Like, despite setbacks and the tough stuff you're going through, if you just hang in there, it can turn around.
That's it. That's what I was trying to say.
I feel there's two. I feel I think there's two major things, and I think I could be wrong, but I don't see this movie in 3 acts. I see it in one long act, and then this movie's been out for a while, so I don't really spoilers.
Yeah, we're doing spoilers now.
I'm like one of the only people on the fucking planet that hadn't seen it yet. So
Still remember the message, nothing better happened to his dog, and then a couple minutes later,
yeah.
But like I said, I think of it in 2 acts. The him by himself, him with people, and then it kind of ramps up. He doesn't see a person until 30 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah. What did we think of that, by the way? Bringing in more people.
I like the shift.
I do. Yeah. I like it. Going to, like what I was saying was with the themes and stuff. I think the first theme is loneliness. Especially after his dog, because he goes back to his video store that he goes and looks at all the time, and then he goes and talks to that mannequin, and he's pretty much in the movie. There's mannequins all over where he's at, and he kind of interacts with them like the real people. Yeah, and so there's a mannequin that is looking at the adult movie section, and Will Smith is walking with his dog, and he said, and he looks at the dog and he's like, I'll talk to her tomorrow, well, dog's not there tomorrow. And he goes up and he says, I promise my friend that I would talk to you. So hello. And then there's a bunch of silence. And then he just kind of breaks down and he says, will you please just say hello to me? Yeah. And that was the most emotional part of the movie, I think, because it kind of sets it, for the most part, he wasn't truly alone. He didn't feel truly alone because he had his dog. Now that his dog is gone, and he's having all these feelings. He's finally breaking down, and he's now truly alone. And I think that was very, very, like, my heartstrings were being yanked. It was and then, like,
performance in there was
the next scene he's trying to kill himself.
Right.
So it's
it does handle grief and loneliness like in a very, you don't really expect it. You kind of expect maybe to gloss over it, but it's such a happy part of the story. And
I loved it. That's what makes it feel not like a blockbuster to me, is that it feels emotional. I mean, there's action in it, there's suspense. It's like it's a really, like, it's a roller coaster of a movie, but the parts that to me that shine the most are when Will Smith is able to get emotional and show his acting chops and really, like, why he's I'm saying that Will Smith is one of the best actors right now. Agreed. Because he's just so versatile in what he's able to bring to the table. Yeah. And I think that one scene, I think it was, in my opinion, that was the best scene in the movie. It was really
it's my favorite.
It's fantastic. Yeah, he doesn't need movies like Bagger Vance or 7 Pounds. Give him one of these kind of roles. He doesn't need. Yeah, he could score Oscar.
I mean, I don't know about you, but Hitch was a fucking great movie.
I kind of remember Hitch, actually.
Hitch was a great movie. I don't want to hear any shit. You, Ryan, I know you're laughing. Hitch is a great movie.
Don't think I've seen
it. I'm laughing, but I had fun when I watched it. So, I mean,
what was his name? Kevin James. Kevin James's best performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Blart.
Blart, yeah.
So with that being said, the emotional element is nailed solid, but it's still got it in the action section. There's some cool set pieces, and they're still cool because they're more of a methodical approach than straight bombast. For instance, there's the section where Samantha, the dog, she chases a deer into a building.
Oh my god,
that was so stressful.
And then you could just see the panic in Smith's eyes in his performance. as he goes in with his weapon light, he's searching the corners, staying
He's like covering the flashlight every once in a while so it doesn't.
Badass. I love that.
And then he gets to the point where what I thought was it was really creepy. I think this was like the scariest part for me is that when he shines the light and they're all just kind of huddled together.
Yeah.
Like they're not looking at anything. They're just staring at the floor.
It's creepy.
I could still remember the panic attacks watching that in the theater. That was just unbearable.
Yeah, man. It's a little it's uncomfortable for sure. And then
but it was really cool to see in theaters. I saw it on DVD because I bought it just because like it looked great and super fun. But on theater, that probably would have been really good.
I can remember being
10. I was 10 when this movie came out, so I definitely did not see that shit in theaters.
I can remember being impressed with this in the theater because Will Smith. My childhood was Men in Black and Independence Day. This guy is amazing. I'll see him in anything. And
seeing him take on a role like that after knowing him from childhood performances, it's strange to see him like he's got range.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And then following up that sequence is when he sets the trap for a Darkseeker. That was just so cool to watch because again, methodical. I love seeing the process for something like this. So he soaks his jacket in vinegar. He sets a sling trap with a U-Haul trailer on a bridge. Breaks a vial of his own blood for bait. It's just really cool. And then that Alpha Darkseeker comes out just screaming at him. It looks like he's just in pain.
I heard that there's alternate endings.
Yeah.
And
I want to talk about that.
Like I said,
I didn't watch the alternate ending.
I haven't seen the movies, but from what I hear, a bunch of deleted scenes were going to be that. I could be wrong, so don't take this with a grain of salt. But I'm pretty sure that the infected were going to show emotional response, and I think they did. I think that Alpha, I think that was either his wife or his daughter, but he reacted in it, and it wasn't that he was angry. He was sad that his wife was just taken away from him.
Yeah,
and you can see it in his face that he's sad by it, and so that I immediately picked that up. I didn't think of it as oh shit, he pissed this guy off. I thought
same here, but still
he's gonna be sad. He's sad that his
Oh, you mean the one that he captures?
Yeah. And then the big boy comes out, and the one at the I'm assuming that it's also the one that leads the charge too.
Yeah,
that is the same Darkseeker. Yeah.
So, because there's some that look exactly the same.
It's almost like there's a bit of a thematic parallel there now that you bring it up.
Exactly. That's what I think. That's what I think the alternate or like theories are of it.
Oh, it's a shame you guys didn't watch the alternate ending. I would love to talk.
Yeah, I have it on the Blu-ray, but I just didn't even bother.
That's. I
know I've just seen it at one point.
I would have gone
talk about
off.
it towards the end.
Okay, yeah.
What do you have to say about it?
Oh, I just wanted to discuss it, share it with you guys. But if you guys are feeling inclined to watch it again, I won't say shit.
I'll probably just end up watching the alternate ending.
Yeah.
So okay. I'll probably watch the movie again eventually, but
okay. But I'll say a little bit of something.
Yeah, feel free to talk about it. I mean,
okay. I like it better than the ending of the theatrical cut because it recontextualizes everything. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I didn't like the ending of this cut.
Yeah, it feels forced. It's really heavy-handed.
Very forced, rushed, cliched. It didn't fit the rest of the movie.
That's
I'm pretty sure that's what happened because not the studio, some production thing, I remember hearing about it, said that it needed a different ending because that was the go-to like in early 2000s.
Yeah.
Stupid. Stupid. Stick to your guns. Be unique.
Before we get to the end, talk more about the ending. I think one thing that really, it was a sound design thing, but the alarm on his watch.
Oh, yeah, on his watch.
You can't hear it, but I'm nodding yes.
Dude,
yes.
Every time that came up, my stomach was just like, like it.
Oh hell.
It's those little details in this film that are, and it's not necessarily a little detail because it's a very obvious cue. But man, the tension in this, like talking about the apartment scene where he's going in to find his dog, or you know, uh, the scene where he gets caught in his own trap and he's hanging there. And
Don't even bring that up.
like,
Yeah.
What are you doing out here, Fred?
Did you think that it was? I thought it was the other person.
See,
that's what I was.
You're probably right.
No,
because I don't know why he would have.
Well, so okay, so Neville brings up that they show no form of human intelligence anymore.
That was another point, yeah.
But that trap scene is supposed to highlight that they are getting smarter. They are learning their enemy.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That's a cool last scene. It's also very, very emotional too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when his dog gets bitten.
That's when his dog gets bitten. That's when his whole world gets shaken up because Fred's supposed to be at the video store. What's he doing near Grand Central Station?
Exactly.
Yeah, it probably was I'm sure it was a setup. I just didn't, because I don't think he would have forgotten that. Oh, I placed the trap there.
Exactly.
Which is a very sinister detail.
I think it was more of the sudden sight of something that should not be there. I think it threw his brain off cattywampus.
Oh, yeah.
And he was overtaken by sudden anxiety and panic. He wasn't thinking rationally. I mean, he was shooting at the buildings, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was. I don't know if I should save this for later or not, but there was more to this movie behind the scenes that I wanted to chime in with.
Go through it.
Okay. So recently, I heard about the coolest freaking thing about a version of this movie that never came to be. So the writer of this movie had adapted this book into a script form back in the 90s. And it was going to be, get this, it was going to be directed by Ridley Scott and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So I'm very glad it came out the way it did, to be honest.
No. Hear me out. It was going to take on a very different form from movies at the time, like this movie did when it came out. It was going to be, the beginning of the movie was going to be a lot of dialogue. It's going to be dialogue free, a lot of visual storytelling. Schwarzenegger would have played a lot more of a dramatic character than something like Predator or Terminator. Not quite Schwarzenegger. They're aiming for a more gritty take. And they also were going to do practical Darkseekers. This version, they were called hemocytes. And they were examining.
God has to fucking change everything about books.
Yeah, they were researching
what the Andes were called.
Yeah, they were researching what like victims of lethal viruses look like after prolonged exposure, and you can see all these photos of the makeup tests of the hemocytes. They look badass, and it was gonna take place in San Francisco. You're gonna get hints. It was gonna have a unique relationship between the Neville character and a hemocyte he captures. It was gonna be completely different than what was at the time, but the studio pulled the plug because the budget was too high of a request, and they got cold feet that it wasn't going to play well with audiences. So the script sat on the shelf for a bit, and then Mark Prodovich, he's the writer of this movie. He was approached, he pitched it again, and then it got greenlit, and some changes were made, and one thing led to another. We got this movie.
Nice. Nick, you are going to be offended by this, and I'm sorry. I do not think for a minute that Schwarzenegger has the acting chops to be able to do this.
Well, possibly. I
don't think, and it could be the language barrier. It very well could be, but I cannot see this movie with anyone except for Will Smith.
Yeah,
I could see that.
No other person. Like I could see, fucking Ryan Gosling is my favorite actor. I could not see him in this movie. This is Will Smith's fucking movie, man. I think Ridley Scott's my goddamn boy. But
yeah, I could see how that would be. But I like the prospect of ambition and something different. And Schwarzenegger makes it his motto to challenge himself with his roles, not to do the same thing every time. So I believe he would have done something of note, because, and also he tried a more gritty character in another movie he did called End of Days. That one, the movie itself kind of ho-hum, but that character, the way he approached it, I could see that being viable at least.
I can tell you, if he was in it, I would have, and I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would have passed.
Huh.
Yeah.
He looks too intimidating and too menacing, and like he can take care of himself.
Yeah.
Will Smith is more human and more like I can relate more to that.
I mean, granted, dude's ripped. Like Will Smith is ripped, but
not the way
still, it's not the way that Arnold is. Like Arnold's a bodybuilder. I completely agree with what you're saying, Ryan. But yeah, I can't see Schwartzy being able to do this. Like I just genuinely don't think that he, like, as an action star, as the action aspect of this, absolutely, he's got that in the bag. But I think the low moments, the quiet feelings, I don't think Arnold Schwarzenegger could make me feel emotional for him, which is bad. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm like that, but I don't think he would be able to do the story justice, which I loved the story.
Maybe I would think of it more like the ending of Predator, when it's setting in. He's the last man standing, and he's got to take care of this himself, and there's some panic to him. In that way, I think there'd be an edge to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That was a neat story I found out about.
That is super cool though. I love me some Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and it was the 90s. They directed movies differently back then. Like, they were kind of, or they didn't have the restraints of nowadays movies, but still they were able to get across very human stories and believable scenarios, or make high concept scenarios grounded and believable, I should say.
I wonder how it would have felt.
Yeah.
Would have been interesting. I don't think he I was gonna say I don't think Ridley Scott did anything super notable in the 90s.
Well, that was another reason the movie got canned, because in the 90s he kept having box office bomb after box office bomb.
Yeah, I mean,
this would have been one of them. It sounds like.
I don't know. Gladiator pulled him out of the
literally 2000, he's like, nah, I'll just make Gladiator one of the fucking best sword and sandal movies ever made. Gladiator's fucking good, dude.
I gotta see it. I still have to see it.
You haven't seen Gladiator?
It's on my shelf, just waiting to be watched.
Dude, that's a great one.
But I do know though, Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah, Maximus Decimus. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you not entertained?
But yeah, no, I think through and through, this was a really, really solid film. And,
it really is. This came out damn good.
I'm glad that I got a reason to watch it, because I probably would have passed on it just because I hadn't watched it this long. I'm obviously not missing out. I don't think. I mean, I don't feel changed, but right. I do feel like, I think if you're feeling on the edge or on the fence about whether or not to give this a watch, I would say just do it. It's not that long, hour and 40 minutes. Good. It's a good movie, and it's. I think for people who aren't into scary movies, this is scary enough that it's not. That it doesn't come off as a horror film. It's definitely
could almost be a gateway movie, because I would say it's more of an it's more of an action thriller.
Yeah, definitely
a thriller.
Yeah,
than a horror movie.
It feels it's pretty damn good, man.
I love it.
You guys weren't like? Do you guys have like a something you weren't huge on, like your least favorite aspect of the film?
This isn't saying much, but I'll explain, so don't go for the first thing I say. I don't like the flashbacks.
Okay.
You don't.
Every time it went to a flashback, I was so into watching Will Smith survive on his own with his dog. I just wanted it to get back. I was so interested in that.
It would be interesting to see how they. I wonder if they could have. I think they could have portrayed the movie without the flashbacks. Honestly, I think we would have gotten the point across.
Perhaps.
Because we get all of the, maybe not the butterfly aspect, but I honestly don't. That butterfly aspect was really. It felt really forced. Like I don't. At least maybe I just don't understand it. But I don't get. It just doesn't feel necessary about the butterfly thing. I'm thinking when he's talking about the butterfly, I think that's what makes me think that it's the main zombie's daughter. That's what I'm thinking. But and then again, when it says I'm listening to the signs and stuff like that, I think that's when he
especially
the alternate ending I just watched on silent with subtitles. But the alternate ending, which we'll get to, it adds to that definitely as well. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if they could do it without flashbacks. I think they
curious
could.
now.
Yeah.
I really want to see it cut like that. I wonder. I really wonder how it would feel.
That's
I'll do an edit of it.
That's just that. I would say. Well, just going off of that, that's my main gripe with the movie. I liked the other ending better. The theatrical ending is just not right. It's not in line with the rest of the film.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can't really think of anything that stood out to me that I didn't like. I wasn't a fan. My only complaint is the CG, and it's not even that bad. Like, all in all, I feel like this is. I think the movie takes a dip in quality once the other people show up.
Yeah.
Not significant, but it definitely is like, oh well, I'm not that worried for him anymore. You know, like he was alone. He was alone for like a day, and then he's automatically not alone anymore.
Yeah.
Like I would kind of like to see him alone for a bit, kind of like Chris Pratt in God, what was that movie? Passengers, yeah, which is not a good movie either, but in my opinion, but I kind of like how, you know, I'm pretty sure the dude's alone for a year, and it's just cut together. But obviously, it's towards the end of the movie, so you know, maybe like a couple weeks or something like that, having him be alone and just seeing it. You know, it feels quick. It feels like it's the next day, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna kill myself." You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only downside that I have about the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think for
Victor,
me,
your thoughts?
Yeah, I think
what
for me, it was towards the last act when Anna is introduced. It starts to like introduce like the religious symbolism and themes, and it feels like from a different film. It just, since considering the rest of it's very subtle and you're just following one character, when more of the forced "this is the theme" dialogue comes in, it just it's not like awful, but it definitely just feels kind of tacked on, just to kind of complete the thematic part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah,
sure. And that's kind of a shame to say. Alice Braga is a great actress, but her character doesn't do a whole lot.
No, I think that the religious aspect feels really forced. Right. And I think it's because he when he's sending off his family, he has this prayer, and I think that's why the God aspect of it comes into play, because she's a religious person, and he is no longer that, because, you know, in his mind, if God was real, this wouldn't be happening, you know. So
no, for sure.
I just wanted to chime. I wanted to chime in again. So he has that moment with Neville has that moment with Anna where he just highlights how
he pops off.
Yeah, he just goes off on her about the virus kill rate, just basically saying there is no God. It just, oh God, I was shaking at that point.
Mm-hmm.
There's also kind of the opposite of that when he's in his lab and she exclaims, "Oh my God!" And he's like, "No, it's not God. It's us that did this." I do like the moral and ethical dilemma with science as well. It's not just
it feels in a good way. The way they portrayed that feels, and this is in a good way. It feels dated. Like it feels like when the book came out, not when the movie came out.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was some Jurassic Park shit up in there.
It feels directly ripped from the book. I feel like that was a line from the book that they're like, we need to get this in there because this is a really important part.
And it feels a little forced in that moment, but I still really like that line.
Me too. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
a little bit too. It gets. I don't know. Actually, never mind. I don't have any more thoughts. That's kind of my biggest con. I'm
do we want to do a out of 5?
Or is it time to rate it
for our boy? Or does anyone else have anything else to say?
That kid could have been written out of the story.
Yeah, definitely.
I
he didn't have any lines.
No, he just looked very worried like the entire time.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Although a detail I didn't pick up until this time is when Will Smith throws the plate. And both Anna and the kid get up and get in defense mode. That he picks up a knife.
Yeah, he picks up a little butter knife. Yeah,
and I thought that was kind of a cool detail.
Oh yeah,
but he's survived these past 3 years, and he's like, you know what? I know what I got to be doing now.
I think my mom. I liked that. Also, too, Anna had the butterfly tattoo. I did like that detail. Kind of just placing that whole butterfly.
It seemed random. It seemed
kind of.
I'm not a fan of the butterfly. I'll be honest. I don't understand the reference. I guess the only thing I can think of is evolution, and a butterfly is a symbol of, you started off something that seems rather insignificant, and now you're this big beautiful thing, which is kind of, again, if they would have kept the extended or the alternate ending in, it would have added to it and made it feel a little less, kind of like how in Blade Runner they added the unicorn aspect of it.
And well, funny you mentioned evolution, because the whole Darkseeker's getting smarter. That's kind of a big deal in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that they're getting smarter and they're able to have emotional responses to things.
Yeah.
Do you think if the reference was from the book, it would make more sense because it's older? Because it does feel, I like it personally, but I see what you mean by it feels like not out of place, but it almost feels like an older reference.
I think it's probably the fact that the alternate ending is the actual ending from the book, I feel, or it's closer to the ending of the book. I'm not sure. I haven't read the book, but it seems books don't end really. I don't read a lot. I'll put that out there. I don't read a lot, but I don't think books end with a action movie ending. It doesn't feel right. So I think, yes, if it's from the book and the book has that alternate ending, then yes, I do think that it would work out better.
I think it just kind of flows pretty well into the whole, Nick, what you're talking about, like the signs and looking for and hope, and just kind of connecting those moments together. And it kind of, for him, is like, oh, he sees that butterfly and it reminds him of his daughter. And I don't know. Personally, I like that, but I get what you're saying.
For sure. I'd also like to add that that's the most intimidating I've ever heard someone monologue Shrek.
Dude, that scene.
Awesome.
The son just looks at him like, "Mom, who is this strange man?"
It's not even a son, just a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love how it's just such an. There's some moments where when he does show that more vulnerable. To me personally, it feels a little like, I hate to say this, a little, I don't know if forced is the right word.
Oh, you didn't like that scene?
I do, but it comes off as, I know it's supposed to be awkward, but I don't know.
I loved it. It was really, really funny, and kind of unnerving too.
I don't dislike it, but I don't know.
The fact that you have all that time to memorize Shrek, That's terrifying.
And why Shrek?
What I
There's
want to
no
know,
like, there's no like reason why it would have been Shrek. Like, does this kid always watch Shrek? Is that like a
yeah,
DVD he has at home?
Well, no, I think
because
it was
they were at his house.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
but
So I think maybe it was like his daughter's favorite movie or something. I don't know. I thought
probably.
it was. I do agree. It was a little weird, but I think it has something to do with the fact that he's I think
Been alone.
he's been there for a while, and I
Oh,
think
oh,
he's gone
sure.
through all of those movies at the movie store, like because I mean, figure there's a shitload of movies. He's been there for 3 years. You
Right.
know,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
more than 1,000 days. So I don't. That store didn't look like it had 1,000 movies in it, but who knows? Shit, I don't know. Maybe he
Man,
I
really
just like the idea of some dude in his, I don't know,
40s,
early
probably.
teens watches the movie right now and he's like talking about that meme from the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
no.
Oh man,
Swamp
That's
Man.
why I can't. That's why I probably won't ever watch Shrek again.
dude, I watched Shrek. I actually watched Shrek and Shrek 2 a couple days ago, and it was fucking hilarious. Shrek 2
Alright.
is definitely superior.
God, maybe we'll
On
do
the
an episode
topic-
on it later on.
On the topic of Shrek, have you guys seen Shrek Retold?
What?
Yes, dude, it's incredible.
I
What's
love
that?
it.
It's
You guys have
it's a
to look
bunch
it up.
of
It's on YouTube.
yeah, it's a bunch of fucking animators and not even voice actors, just a bunch of
Creators.
random people from like I think they had a Reddit page or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably 4chan as well, but it's just a bunch of random people came through and they got specific shots and scenes that they would recreate, and it's the entire fucking movie.
Essentially shot for
But
shot of
it's
the
shot for
original
shot
Shrek.
by like hundreds of different creators. It's hilarious. It's such a trip. It's
Highly
huh.
recommended.
That sounds better than the movie.
No, you would like it.
almost
What I
Because-
still want to know
yeah.
is where did all this diehard fan base come from for Shrek? It seemed like
Just
it
the
came out of
memes.
nowhere.
It's the
Did
meme.
came from the internet.
It's
Stupid
from
internet.
Shrek put his love inside me.
Yeah, that
Stupid
kinda started
fucking
it.
internet. God.
How
It
is it
hurts,
stupid?
but I do it
It's
for Shrek.
the resurgence of Shrek love. What's stupid about that?
All right,
Shrek
we gotta can this right now before I go nuts. So, final thoughts.
Shrek is dumb. The internet was wrong. Al Gore shouldn't have made it. What do you rate the movie?
5 out of 5, bro.
You give it 5
Shrek?
stars?
No, not Shrek. God.
No, I'm
Nick
talking
gives
about this.
Shrek
You
5
give
out of
I Am Legend 5 stars?
Oh, I'm Legend. No. I give it 4. It
Okay.
stands out from a litter. It's a blockbuster that kind of feels anti-blockbuster at its best points. It loses something in its theatrical ending, and some aspects kind of still hold up. Some parts hold up more than others, but still a very convicting lead performance, a great atmosphere, tense direction, and just a cool story, a cool world to get enthralled with.
Word.
Word.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Ryan, I already know what
I'll,
rating you're
I'll
giving
go
it.
and give it
already
a
know it.
3.
Oh,
I
I
knew
knew
it.
3.5.
It's not 3.5. When I was a kid, this was probably a 4.5. Now it's a 3 though.
Yeah.
But there's really no complaints that I have with it. I like the quiet nature of the movie. I like the message. It looks great.
This guy
and
shot
I just
Lord of the Rings.
good.
Which I forgot to say.
What?
About Lord of the Rings?
The guy who shot Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that explains
That
why it
explains
looks
it.
so nice. Yeah, I like it. It's a good movie. Check it out.
Do it,
Check
Victor.
it out.
Sweet.
Victor.
My turn.
Oh, yeah. What?
I think I'm gonna go with a 4 as well.
Nice, bro.
I just was very happy that I liked this still, and I felt the emotional beats. I was, even though I knew what was going to happen, I still felt the intensity and the tension of those those key scenes. And I just like the quiet moments and the fact that when the action does happen, it's not like really there's no like huge set pieces, save for the end of the film, which isn't really a huge set piece, but I think you get the idea.
Well, when you minefield Central Park, that
No,
feels
right.
kind
But
of
I
big.
just like how it's very kind of contained still in a way.
Still, yeah.
It still feels kind of restricted in the space that they cover in those tense moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just happy the score's great too. I forgot to mention that.
Oh
It
yeah, the
feels,
music is excellent.
it's very classical. Got a very classical feel, and the texture of the image itself is splendid. I like it a lot.
Splendid.
I'm glad you recommended this.
Thank you. Thank you. Chase.
Biddle.
I think I'd probably do 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I see. I feel like I'm thinking of other movies I've rated 4s that I feel are better than this movie. So I feel wrong for I feel weird for wanting to give it 4. So in that, I'm gonna give it 3.5.
I'm sure too once you watch this properly.
Exactly, properly, exactly, yeah. But yeah, I think I would give it. Yeah, I would give it a solid 3.5. I think that there was great acting. The score was good. The sound was great. The cinematography was good. Like the dark scenes were truly dark.
Oh yeah.
And I think I think it was solid. It was better than average, but not fantastic in my head. So I think it's in between 4 and 3.5. So I'll give it a 3 and 5/8 Shreks out of 5 Shreks.
What the hell does that even mean?
I love it.
Means get out of my swamp.
Yeah, I mean, get the hell out of the swamp, bro.
I think also some credit should be given to the actual dog actor for playing Samantha. Great dog. Good dog.
Agreed.
A great CGI. Cool fake dog. What was the next movie?
Great fake dog.
Sure, fake dog. Next movie.
I'll never not think of that Bob Marley song and not think of this movie.
Oh my god, yeah. I think our whole freaking class generation.
Oh, this whole our entire generation
knew this song because I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you've been to many assemblies back in high school, Victor, but I remember this one. This song came on at one point, and geez, they all just started harmonizing and getting in sync. Bunch of potheads all around me.
Potheads. Okay.
I'm gonna get my ass kicked one day.
Bro,
someone's gonna hear
next
this.
time you see me, you're dead meat.
Okay, bring it on.
Be dead.
Cool. Sound like a character with a switchblade and blue spiky hair.
Hey.
Segue.
Which brings us to the Terminator. Let's break it
down. I'm just kidding.
This don't need no intro, but I'm gonna do it anyway. In the far future of 2029, an actual far future, machines wage war on mankind and lay nuclear waste to the whole planet. In an effort to turn the tide in their favor, the Defense Computer Network Skynet sends back a cybernetic assassin called a Terminator back to the year 1984 to assassinate the Resistance leader's mother, Sarah Connor. In retaliation, the Resistance sends a soldier, Kyle Reese, to protect her, at the same time destroy this Terminator and ensure the survival of mankind.
Yeah, he sure does.
Gangrene.
Now,
you guys think it's actually like 9 years off?
What do you mean?
I mean, well, considering the things going on right now and the advances in drone warfare, no.
Yeah, I don't think Skynet's going to be a thing. It might be Google, but I'm cool with Google being our overlords.
Google sent back a machine to kill me.
Just imagine the Google Terminator. Just imagine what that would fucking look like.
Please, rainbow colored, made out of dodgeball foam.
Didn't they made Stadia, right?
Yeah, they made Stadia.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a video game console.
Yeah,
I was actually considering it.
I don't.
You were gonna get Stadia.
I don't think I should.
No,
please don't.
You.
Yeah,
don't do
you
it.
probably shouldn't.
I won't.
Okay, fellas, let me get real. I could talk about this movie for hours, but I want to hear your guys' initial thoughts.
So I'm gonna get hate for this. I did not really enjoy it.
No! No! No!
You just killed Nick.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I'm about to shoot his corpse. Hold on a second.
No, please.
It's good, but I had a real hard time sitting down to watch this one.
I watched it in 2 days.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plant a nuke. You ready? I didn't watch it because I saw it like 4 months ago, and I already remember most of it. So.
Oh.
Here's my reasoning, Nick. Here's my reasoning. I didn't really enjoy it because it's so 1980s that it's almost uncomfortable to watch.
What?
It is so, the dialogue is some of the it's so goddamn aged that it's hard to watch. Like,
dude,
I was sitting there watching it with my girlfriend, and we both would like look over at each other and just laugh because it was just some of the like. Granted, Arnold had some great one-liners, and there's some classic quotes in there. But god damn, there was some. It was rough. I also I also thought that I don't know why they decided to make an animatronic fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger for him having a red eye.
Hold it. Let's go one thing at a time here. So let's talk special effects first. Obviously, that Arnold head, that's probably my main gripe with the movie. It's not special effects. Special effects aren't perfect, and the main offender is that Arnie animatronic.
This movie was the reason they used CGI in I Am Legend.
No. Just hear me out here.
This is why Ridley Scott wasn't allowed to direct it. They're like, him and James Cameron are too damn close. Like,
well, they actually are. They both did an Alien movie at one point.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but aside from the Arnie head, the special effects are damn good in this movie.
Yeah,
for the budget, and probably some of the best in the 80s. The rear projection, the laser effects, the miniatures.
The projection look real cool. Miniatures look cool too.
Even the stop motion Terminator was awesome.
Again, I'm gonna shoot you down, Nick, and I apologize.
Chace,
I love it.
Infinitely better job 10 years earlier.
Wait, say that again. You got garbled.
Yeah. I said Star Wars did an infinitely better job 10 years earlier.
It's true.
Well,
the Terminator looks iconic though. The exoskeleton or endo, whatever, it looks incredible.
And the stop motion for it was beautiful. And that was my favorite part of the movie was the stop motion, like him limping. That was it was flawless. Like it was so good. And then it gets back to the shot of them on the rear projection, and I'm like, wow, this is an old fucking movie.
Wait, when they're going through the door, trying to shut it?
Through the door, yeah.
Okay, fine, but still, it looks good. I feel.
Yeah, you can feel that. That's fine.
Even that one shot looks great. It looks better than half the movies we get nowadays. Don't at me. Don't at me. I never say that. I don't say that, but don't at me. Don't at me.
I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying that the cinematography in this movie, listen.
Awesome.
Holy cow, was it hard to sit through.
What?
It was kind of goofy.
I'm gonna stop screaming. No, I love the camera work in this movie. It's so
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, what was it? What was it?
It's so basic. There's nothing in it.
What? It's not basic.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel like every movie has to have like mind-blowing like scenes to look good. Like I think sometimes it's too obvious.
Here's the thing.
Like I don't know. I don't think every movie needs to be like obviously good CG or sorry, not CG, but camera work. I think it looks pretty good.
I like the camera. It's got its own style going. It's kind of the noir lighting, and especially in the future flashback scenes. Just, oh wow, and the speed of the camera movements too. That puts it above other action movies at the time. I would consider this a breakthrough in action movies at the time because the speed is just a lot faster and it's more intense than anything before and probably since then. Most movies can hardly stand to get this fast paced now. It's crazy.
Probably.
And yeah, just oh god, all the action in this movie. I guess tame. It is tame by even the standards of the series, but it's very effective stuff. I like the tech noir shootout in particular. I love
that was cool. That was cool.
Badass. They use the slow motion, the way the characters come together, and the ensuing firefight is wicked. It's wicked.
But cool. I mean, I think if we're talking about Terminator, we got to talk about that goddamn sex scene, bro. That was classic full frontal nudity booby grabbing great time.
Everyone had one friend that always wanted to watch this, and you knew why they always wanted to watch this.
Yeah. But I said this in last week's episode. For me, I think this is the best love scene in any movie ever. Because
this confirms my thing of I don't think I need it.
Well,
Matrix Reloaded, Neo and Trinity going hard on like a tabletop. Was it Reloaded or was it Revelations? Whatever the fuck it was.
It was Reloaded. No, this love scene actually matters to the story. That's what makes it an instant win.
Yes. I think, and I don't have to pay you each $100, by the way. So, and that's my thing. That was also the movie is extremely predictable.
No, it's not. Oh my god.
Oh yes, it is.
As soon as this dude showed up, I'm like, oh, he's gonna fuck Sarah Connor and impregnate her, and that's gonna be John Connor's dad. And that's why they don't talk about him that much. I'm like, I called it, dude. I called it. You have message proof that I fucking called it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, judging from your live messaging to us about this, I was kind of excited to see what you were gonna say about the movie, and now I'm just kind of let down, honestly.
I'm sorry.
But to each their own.
I'm sorry. I
fucked up, Chase.
Chase, you not liking this movie ruined Nick's day. What are you gonna do about that?
I'm sorry.
I gotta make it up to him.
You were talking about rear projection, and again, Blade Runner came out 2 years earlier and was significantly better.
Different style of movie, though. That wasn't an action film.
It's still rear projection. It's still a technique. It's whether it's a different style or not. Good is good and bad is bad, bro. I'm just saying.
This one had great rear projection work. I love two shots in particular. One is the first flashback scene. Reese and his partner, they get in front of the HK tank and they're lining up to throw their bombs at it. That was a cool shot. And then the other shot is the next flashback when he's reconning the HK aerial, and it's just him aiming his gun out to the beyond wasteland. That's cool.
Technically, isn't that the future?
Yeah, that's what I meant. The flashbacks to the future.
It's a flash forward.
So the movie itself is a flashback.
No,
yeah.
It's
and then they get glances into the future.
No, it doesn't. That's not how it works, man.
So you flash back and you're 10 years later.
We're gonna have to stop this. Oh,
I'm confused.
Yeah, this is a time travel movie, and it's one of the more paradoxical time travel plots if you really think about it. But no one chooses to, because it's a cool storyline that shouldn't be ruined with logic like that. That's like trying to. That's like bringing. That's like, oh god. That's like opening the curtain to The Wizard of Oz for Back to the Future.
Essentially, when you're dealing with a subject or a topic like time travel that doesn't really exist, I think you have the creative liberty to do whatever you want.
Yeah, sure.
Just as long as you stick to your rules, which I know this franchise really hasn't done. From what
Not
I can
since
tell.
Terminator 2.
I was going to say, how far in the
failed?
Yeah, in T2, how it's obviously like what 14 years in the future.
No, it's
because how old's the kid? The kid's there's no way he's able to that kid's not 12 years old or 10 years old.
That's what confused me at first, but then I looked it up. Terminator 2 takes place in 1997.
Okay, so
between 1984 and then.
So he's supposed to be 13?
Yeah.
That kid is not 13, bro.
Yeah,
He's like, it may be 16.
Close enough.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not another time. I can't wait for you to destroy that movie.
I actually love T2. Like I also don't buy Arnold as a villain. Just because
You're kidding.
Dude, Arnold's good, dude.
I'm not saying I dislike Arnold. I don't think of him as a from Predator, from from what was it, Jingle All the Way? Was that one?
See, okay, you got it all wrong. Is the thing you're thinking of schlocky, cheesy Schwarzenegger. This is great Schwarzenegger.
I think
I do think he was. I think he was good. Like he's not the problem I have with the movie. The movie is what I have a problem with. Is that it's just I think it's just too dated for me personally.
I don't think it's dated.
I mean,
I'll tell you this: it almost feels like an old school indie movie. Almost.
Well, it was low budget.
And it shows. It feels very low budget.
But for the most part, I think they make it look like it exceeds the budget.
Oh, no way.
Yes, way. The action is fast. The story is delivered very smoothly for how much action is going on and how many parallel action.
There's a scene I want to talk about, but I'll get to it eventually. And it is laughably like edited. Like you guys will probably be able to tell as soon as I say it, but
yeah,
it's the editing was.
Was it the tech noir shootout?
No, that was fine. I thought that was.
Was it the gun shop scene?
No, all of those scenes, the action scenes of like Arnold just going through and fucking people up, I was all about that. Like that was. I like I loved when he's going to the fucking gun store and the guy's like, "You can't do that," and he goes, "I can," and he fucking shoots him. That was tight. I was like, I laughed because I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like how you laugh in a John Wick movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the scene I'm talking about is when they're when he plants a fucking bomb in the truck. That's the longest wick literally ever created, dude. That scene goes on for I timed it. It's like 47 seconds.
That's movie time. Editing fucks up real time is the thing.
But then it's not. I'm not saying I have a problem with in that world. Like, sure, that's whatever. But the editing, they shit the bed on that scene. Like the stakes are. It's like when you look at a spoof of something. Of the 80s.
I totally get that.
You know what I mean? It's like when it keeps cutting back to the character's reaction, then and then it's the scene in fucking Monty Python where the dude's running closer, and every time it cuts back to the reaction, the guy's in the same fucking spot. It was exactly like that, and I laughed my ass off because I'm like, dude, is this thing gonna fucking blow up or what? And then also. The scene where he gets ran over by that same truck, that went on for so fucking long. The tires,
dude,
went on for so long. Like
Nick's
it was
loading the gun right now.
it was crazy long, and I think it's just the era that editing was really, really like compelling in the 80s, but nowadays it was just fucking goofy. Like.
Here's one thing. How funny would it have been if after the super long wick, the bomb doesn't explode?
Nothing happens. It just keeps going.
I would have lost my mind.
Sarah Connor and the whole movie's done.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, I'm sorry. You were a fan of this movie. And I apologize.
It's still a classic.
What are you hemming?
I disagree.
Okay.
Oh,
you got Corona too. It's still a classic. Like it's an awesome movie.
It's an awesome movie that holds up to this day.
Oh,
I don't think so.
That's debatable.
It does. Yes, it does.
Debatable, not fact.
again,
Fact.
you watch something.
Fact, two of us disagree. Says it is debatable.
Millions of fans say otherwise.
The fact it's fine.
Millions of opposers.
The fact that
That's
Star Wars
one
came out 10 years earlier and did everything that this movie tried to do, but better.
Well, that's not fair. Star Wars had bigger budget than this movie.
No,
it didn't. No, it didn't. Star Wars had a fucking tiny budget, dude.
No, it didn't.
I'm looking it up right now.
The first Star Wars was 10
What'd you have to say, Victor?
I'm on Nick's side with this one. I do
Biddle 2v2.
Actually, the budget for Star Wars was a little bit more than the Terminator by like a few million.
Yeah, Terminator was 6 million. The first Star Wars was 10 million.
Double the price. I'll take my defeat on that one. That was a reach. I was guessing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally bombard everything, and I don't really like Star Wars that much either. So I mean,
that's absolutely fine. It's especially recent. Like I've lost my love for Star Wars, I think, after recent movies.
That's for another video.
We'll go back to shitting on Terminator.
Back to the crucifixion of Terminator.
Okay, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Victor?
No, I agree with Nick that this has, in a way, aged well. Mm-hmm. Set aside the visual effects, I think in context of what this film is, and this kind of almost sci-fi noir, I think that thriller noir, I think it holds up pretty well. And yes, this is me saying this not having seen it for like 5 months, but even just like looking at recaps and kind of skimming through the movie, I think that it does its job very, very well. Granted, yes, it does have a lot of corny and cheesy elements. I think on a visceral level, on a technical level, besides the corny or CGI or visual effects, I think that this does hold up. I think this holds up very well.
Cool.
I mean, although I disagree, I would say that this completely executes what it wanted to do.
Absolutely.
In context of what this is trying to do, I think that it's done a great job.
And the fact that
early 80s.
Exactly. And the fact that this movie had to be made so that T2 could be made is kind of it makes me feel better about it, because T2 is phenomenal. T2 is so good.
And perfect.
I can't say I didn't enjoy this movie, because even like laughing at it, I still was having a fun time.
Well,
but I think me saying I don't think it was, I'm looking at it as today's standards, which I shouldn't. But
yeah, you really shouldn't.
In today's standards, this is not a good movie. It's very B movie. But in the 80s, I'm sure this was fucking incredible. I mean, it's got a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score, and that's hard to do. So I'll give him credit for that. And I'm also not a big Cameron fan, but again,
that explains a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I social distance any more than we can right now?
I mean, I liked Aliens. Aliens was cool.
Fine, I'll give you that.
I really liked Aliens. Yeah, it was fun.
Good. Now I'm kind of worried to talk about the rest of the characters.
We're not gonna attack you like you've been attacking us. You're safe, dude. Go for it.
I thought you were attacking me.
No, bro.
I said I don't like the movie.
It's a movie. How can you really attack someone over an opinion?
I don't know. People have found ways.
It's all good. What do you want to say about the characters?
The acting is. I can't say it now.
No.
You can totally say it. We're not against you for liking the movie. We're saying the movie is hokey, and we laughed during the movie.
Fine. The acting is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I might laugh.
I'm kidding.
I think
the acting is pretty damn great. But my favorite performance by far was Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. That guy owns every fucking role he ever does.
I was thinking the same thing. He was very good during the movie. I think the script was what got him.
No. You're gonna laugh at me even more. I think if I was in charge of the Academy, I would have thrown an Oscar nom his way.
This is the funniest episode yet.
No, I love.
This is what I want. I don't want us to always just very calmly like something. This is nice.
Just the fact
Yeah,
that
it is nice. Contrasting, contrary to my like pussyfooting sensitivity.
You're gonna laugh at me, but
yeah. No. Seriously, Michael Biehn, one of the best. I think one of my favorite acting performances in this movie. He's so intense.
Did you say ever?
Yeah, he's so intense in this movie. I love.
As a whole?
Yes, he's so intense in this movie. He's got this drive down, and you really buy this guy's been in a war. This guy's been through the shit, and he's got the look to prove it. Just wow.
I can't believe you said he's better than Arnold. That's blasphemy.
That's not the discount. Arnold was utilized perfectly in this movie because he was still early in his acting career. He hadn't fine-tuned his he hadn't been able to articulate properly. I guess that's kind of shitty to say, but still, like, his acting range was limited around this time. But this Terminator perfectly used him. He's a menacing physical threat. He's a man of few words. He doesn't need words. He totally in a weird way he fits into the LA underworld. You buy him as this infiltrator machine.
Dude, when he put that jean jacket on, he's infiltrating.
He didn't wear a jean jacket
early on. Wasn't it a jean jacket?
No.
I do a scene that like a little thing that I do love about this is how the Terminators have like options to say shit. And then so when the like or the janitor comes in and he's like, "You got a dead cat in there?" And he goes like scrolls through it and he says,
"Fuck you, asshole."
Like that shit was hilarious to me. I also think the fact that he's able to change his voice is terrifying.
Yeah, the thing in this movie that hardly any of the sequels capitalized on was the Terminator's also an infiltration unit. They're designed to get into places undetected, and this movie clearly,
which is counterintuitive to big ass Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Still, like the way they utilize him, it's almost like a horror movie at points.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this also falls under the category as thriller.
Yeah, more like a slasher horror though. You can easily put the Terminator alongside Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. He's an unstoppable killer.
Voorhees.
Yeah, he's an unstoppable killer. His mask is the human flesh, and he's constantly hunting down this girl, this naive college girl that's soon to be
She college? Was that what it was?
Dude, she's supposed to be 18.
She's supposed to be 18? I thought she was like 30.
18?
But she is like she's 27 when she was starting the film, so
I don't want to be rude, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, she definitely looks more 27 than 18. I mean, that's kind of
looks
true.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton also she does a very good job. I just like the way James Cameron writes female characters. Not to bring that political conversation in here, but
was he married to Sigourney Weaver for a while?
No, he's married to Linda Hamilton.
Oh, okay. I knew it was one of his fucking stars that he was. Is he still married to her?
Nope, divorced.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. James Cameron's a fucking weirdo.
And also Linda Hamilton's a bipolar. So.
Oh well, that shouldn't stop anyone.
But anyway, Linda Hamilton, she also does a fantastic job because you could see her arc through the movie, and that's something you don't get with a lot of characters, anyways. In these days, you don't see the clear arc they go through. She starts when she's at the start. She's naive, 20 something.
She's just a bad waitress. That's all.
Yeah,
hey, it was a bad day. It was a bad day for her.
She's looking fucking rough for 63 years old. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. She's looking rough for 63.
I was gonna be nice and not say anything. She does not look almost 18.
Yeah. No, right now she's 63.
Oh well, I can see it.
But
anyways, she was great, and then she transitions into someone with courage, someone with confidence, and just becoming obviously not at the level of T2 would show us, but you could see by the end of the movie she's in the making of becoming a warrior.
I think I don't want to go off about on T2 too much, but I feel T2 was more I like the fact that they gave the Terminator, like, they kind of raised him. Like John Connor ended up being like kind of like this guy's like adopted like dad at a certain point, because he's like teaching him how to say shit and all that stuff. Like,
I kind of prefer Terminator the original.
Really?
The way they do the Terminator. I understand he's more complex and has more depth in 2. But this one I just like the almost, what would you call it? Not in a bad way, but the lack of depth and complexity. He's just a machine doing his thing. And I thought that was so scary.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what makes him work like the other great slasher villains.
Yep, I think I do agree that I think the Terminator for this movie feels solid. T2 is a little interesting because I haven't seen it in a long time. Like, it's been years.
Little.
But it's I don't remember how they integrate his character being so different, and how it must be from the future, and like the Resistance side sends him back.
No. In T2, they explain he has a neural net processor in his system, and the more contact he's in with humans, the more he learns about behaviors and so forth.
Well, but why is he now like a good guy?
They reprogrammed him. The Resistance captured his model of Terminator and sent him back in time.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was meaning, is that I don't know. I didn't know how he was like a good guy now.
No, they reprogrammed him.
So that's what I was meaning by the Resistance must have got a hold of him. And
they did, yeah, because they came out with the T-1000, the much more advanced model, practically impossible to deal with.
Is that the liquid one?
The liquid metal, yes.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the T-1000 was going to be the villain in this movie, but the special effects technology wasn't quite there yet. So they just made Arnie's Terminator the villain.
Thank goodness.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine liquid metal with 1980s effects?
No, I would fucking not.
I can't even see that. I also want to say the other two great performances in this movie, Paul Winfield and Lance Henriksen as the police detectives. They're so funny. I love them.
I fuck with Lance Henriksen. I fuck with him. I'm a big fan of oh god, what was his name in Alien?
Bishop
was dope. He had a good. I like his in at the end of the movie. I thought that was tight. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I like him as an actor, and he's a fucking asshole in this movie, and it's great.
I love the running gag that he keeps trying to go in depth about criminals he's encountered, but Traxler just shuts him up right away.
Exactly. I love it. He's the general, right? I'm assuming like the police chief or some shit.
Yeah, he's the police lieutenant.
Yeah. Every time he's like, oh yeah, you should see this. He's like, shut the fuck up.
How do I look? Like shit, boss. Yo, mama.
Your mama, yeah.
Hey, dude, that was a good yo mama. Let's be real.
Your mama.
Oh man, good yo mama.
Yeah, I think all in all, I don't think this was a bad movie. I just didn't.
But you're quick to shit on it.
I enjoyed it for reasons that it was not meant to be enjoyed.
God, that's a first.
I enjoyed it.
Someone that found the first Terminator so bad that it was good.
No, I don't think it was bad at all. It's just so fucking old. It's like, have you tried to watch the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
That's more dated than this movie.
That's what it feels like to me, though. That's what it feels like. It feels like a fucking Ninja Turtles movie with the dialogue.
Shit.
Dude, the dialogue is... dialogue felt
the dialogue's great.
I'm pretty sure, is Cameron the one who wrote it?
Yeah.
That makes sense, because I also think Avatar's dialogue is fucking garbage.
What's wrong?
I apologize. We can talk about Avatar in another episode.
That sounds old.
I have some. Well, my thing is, Avatar sounds exactly like Terminator. It still sounds like that.
And that's good thing.
No, it's not. That's from 1984, and that was 2009, though. old? How can it be? That doesn't make sense to me.
5 years.
Just a heads up. I just want to make it clear that I'm sometimes trying to drink water, and it's very difficult during this podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm not. And Nick, you're a big fan of the oldies, man, and I fucking vibe with that.
It's not even oldies. This is a movie that's generally regarded as.
Bro, it's 2020.
Shut up. Let me finish.
This movie, what is that? 35 years old.
Yeah, and everyone says it holds up really well, and it's one of the best action movies of all time.
Apparently, not everyone.
One guy.
Everyone.
1.5 guys.
I do think it's a really good action movie. Like I do agree. I'm also not the biggest fan of action movies. I've been on an action movie kick recently.
Well, that makes too much fucking sense, doesn't it?
This does not satisfy my action movie feeling.
Yeah, it didn't for me either, to be honest.
Unbelievable.
Like, I mean, honestly, this is I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the cover for it right now, but a movie that does great with story, world building, and has cheesy dialogue, but cheesy enough for pass. It's the fucking Matrix, dude.
Hell
like,
yeah.
The Matrix is, in my opinion, the best sci-fi action movie.
Here.
It's so fucking good. Like I actually, you know what? I'm declaring right now. I'm choosing that for my second movie.
Hell yeah.
I'm about it.
Okay. Don't piss on it.
Oh no, I won't. I love the Matrix. I'm gonna find stuff that's goofy about it. I know for a fact because I haven't seen it in years.
All right, but let's keep on the Terminator right now.
Terminator, yeah. I appreciate it for what it was, and I appreciate it for the steps it created, and it's very. You can see a lot of inspiration from Nick, you're gonna be not happy. I really enjoyed the Terminator movie with fucking Christian Bale.
Salvation?
I really liked Salvation.
Well, I was actually gonna get into the sequels a little bit here.
I really liked Salvation as a kid. I saw it as a kid. I haven't watched it recently, but the grittiness of it and I thought it was super dope. But
I've been meaning to check out Salvation recently because
which one is that?
It's in the future. It's Christian Bale.
Technically, Terminator 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just go through them really quick. So Terminator 2, the perfect sequel, obviously.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah. Terminator 3, kind of forgettable, honestly. I mean, it was one of the last movies I saw in a drive-in theater, and I was
Terminator. T3 was the first Terminator movie I saw, actually.
The first one?
The T3 was the first one I saw. Yeah.
Same here.
Oh boy.
And yeah. I mean, I saw it when I was like fucking 8 years old, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're young, it's fine. Now it's just a watered down remake of Terminator 2.
Gotcha.
Salvation, step in the right direction, doing something different, focusing on the future war, but it still has a couple issues going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis showed promise, but
yeah, I was excited for Genesis.
In hindsight, it's kind of ridiculous, a lot ridiculous.
And Dark Fate, did you see Dark Fate?
I did see Dark Fate. I feel it's the best of the sequels post T2.
Oh, okay.
Because it ignores the rest of them. It tries to maintain the same kind of pacing and feel of T2. And also, it does have problems. I could see where people have issue with it, but they didn't bother me a whole lot. I kind of accept it for being, this is the direction they went with. There's nothing I can really do to stop it.
Yeah.
But
it seems it's the highest rated sequel so far.
Yeah.
The newest one?
Yeah, the newest one.
Post T2.
Oh, interesting.
Gotta have that asterisk post T2. So yeah, Tim Miller's a great action director. It's cool seeing Arnie and Linda back in the roles.
Dude, when she was in the trailer, I'm not trying to be funny. I genuinely couldn't understand why they put the lead singer of the Rolling Stones in the movie until I was told it was not him.
God. I'm gonna step away for a
Ryan,
second.
you're a fucking asshole, dude.
And I'm not even trying to be funny. I was genuinely dumbstruck. I was like, wow, they're really reaching to get new viewers. And I was like, wait, I got you.
Man, I want to see Dark Fate. I've heard good things about it. I might watch it tonight. Fuck it. But
slightly
yeah,
above feel. You might have it. Everyone else has issues with it. Everyone's quick to point out issues with it.
I mean, like going back to original Terminator, I think in the genre of tech noir, I think this was a good. I mean, we'll get to it. We'll get to it in a couple weeks, but the quintessential fucking tech noir movie will always be Blade Runner. But I think this was a good add to that, and I feel like Total Recall, the original, has more of Blade Runner vibes than this one.
Did you see it? I thought you didn't see it.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen, like I said, I saw the sequel, which was not good, but I like the world, and I heard Judge Dredd is also similar.
Dredd, yeah.
I love Judge Dredd.
Apparently the remake is also very good.
Dredd's not a remake, it's a reboot.
Reboot, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
I'm sorry, dude. I think
no. I had expectations and they were shot down.
I apologize.
Sorry to let you down, dude.
I feel sorry. I'm just a sensitive bitch.
I'm gonna shoot you again, Nick. I actually didn't really like the music.
Oh no!
I thought the theme was, of course, iconic and fantastic. The theme. The rest of it was kind of a turn off.
No, I love the music in this movie. I love the synth wave going on. It can be really atmospheric and very intense during the action scenes, and very tender, surprisingly at times too.
Yeah, but she old, dude.
Not in this movie.
Oh, for me it was.
Whatever.
When the theme came up again, like he walked in. Terminator. I'm not just trying to trash this movie. That's what I'm doing, though. It's when he walked in the movie to do the operation on his arm, which is still a really cool scene, despite the head. When I heard that music kick in when he got there, it just came like a running joke again for me. I was like, every time he comes to the screen.
It's called a character theme, bro.
I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That's all I'm saying.
It works
for Spider-Man.
Like if he went to go take a dump, they would have done the theme again.
I have to take a shit.
No,
dum, 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 dum.
That's why you don't.
Terminator, more like
because they're
more like
bad.
Turdinator.
Oh, also, I want to say, terminate this. I was about to turn the movie off.
Wait,
if it wasn't done in 5 minutes, I was about to shut the fucking movie off.
That's not what she said.
What did she say?
Man.
You're terminated, fucker.
It's pretty much the same thing.
What
Good line.
It's definitely better than terminate this, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Your terminated fucker is pretty
Come on, dude. They spent the whole movie trying to kill this thing, and it just will not die. Just come on.
I like the hydraulic press. That's really fucking that's a big trend of 2020 this year is crushing shit with hydraulic presses. So that was kind of nice to see. Like,
what do you guys think of the actual conclusion? Like when it's actually ending and it's total tone shift.
Wait, when she's in the desert?
Yeah.
I like it.
Great idea.
Yeah, that was like pure aftermath. It was like this is done to the next thing.
Yeah, I like.
Movies never end like that. I thought it was very interesting how well they rounded it off like that.
Yeah. I miss movies like that when you feel like you actually went on a big journey.
Feels like it's over when it's over. There's not many that do that.
That's what with going back to we were talking about Alien and stuff. With this time period from like the 70s to like the late 80s, movies just kind of felt like they ended. Like it doesn't feel like a satisfying conclusion. Like this felt satisfying. It felt like I also like the fact that they bring up this picture that he had, and the picture is snapped in that scene. I thought that was kind of cool. Cheeky little fucking detail.
I like that.
But something like Alien 2, that shit. Aliens, yeah. the final climactic battle happens within 5 minutes of the end credits, and that just seems so fucking abrupt to me that it, and I've noticed a lot of older movies have that, and I was actually curious on when, if you guys know of a time when movies just actually started to have ending scenes instead of ending beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I missed.
I'm not sure, but I know that the writing convention of Hollywood movies having like a solid aftermath scene started, I want to say, in the 2000s, and that's like one of the reasons why I Am Legend, good tie-in actually, I Am Legend had studio interference with the ending, was because they wanted a certain conclusion that felt like a certain style of aftermath, which was a happy ending.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it didn't last very long because then it turned into sequel baiting. So
yeah. I wish we didn't sequel bait so freaking much nowadays. Can we just end there?
Really quick, I just have to do this. Misdirect real quick. Speaking of sequel baiting, they said the new Dune has no sequel baiting, and when it ends, it feels like it's a full movie. I'm excited. That's all.
Oh yeah. Well, even though there's gonna be 2 films.
Yeah, but
there's two movies of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but the people that have seen the rough cuts are like, it feels like a complete movie, and when it ends, it feels like you can stop.
That's very
cool. Villeneuve,
I'm
bro.
so excited.
Villeneuve is probably my favorite director right now. He is incredible.
Good.
But anyway, back to the Terminator.
Yeah, back to Terminator.
Yeah, I like the ending. I like the conclusiveness of it. I wish we would go back to freaking solid endings again. And it's not just Marvel's fault. A lot of movies do it, whether or not they are franchises at all.
I think Marvel made so much fucking money that every movie now feels like they need to make a franchise out of it, like, or like cinematic universes, like Fast and Furious. Technically Fast and Furious started it. Kind of actually started that, because when was Tokyo Drift made? Way before Iron Man, right?
2006.
Yeah, so 2 years before Iron Man. Holy shit.
But who knows where that was going to lead, because they didn't know what direction to take that series at that point.
Yeah, and they really do just like a fucking left turn of themes in that movie. Anyway, but yeah, like there's like the monster universe, like the Universal fucking Dark Universe or something like that.
I hope that picks up, because the Invisible Man was awesome. Now if we can go in that direction.
I hope not.
Why not?
Because it's gonna be shit.
I hope not.
Because look. The Mummy, I didn't see it, but if that's the kind of quality content quality quote unquote that they're gonna release, then they can just screw off.
Did you hear me though? The Invisible Man.
Yeah, but that's an entirely different studio, entirely different
creative
team.
No, it's not. The Invisible Man is Universal.
Oh well.
Did you guys hear about the Dracula movie?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we covered that a few episodes, like 10 episodes back.
Months ago.
Dracula. What Dracula?
Still,
they're doing another Dracula.
So the lady who
Bram Strokers or whatever.
Yeah,
it's gonna be faithful to the book finally.
Hell yeah, sweet.
The lady who directed what was it? Jennifer's Body and what was that? Not the Gift.
Oh no.
No,
Jennifer's Body.
No, she did it. She did it recently. I think it's The Invited.
The Uninvited?
No. The Invitation. Invitation for.
Oh no.
She's got some good qualities to her work.
What
I think. But yeah, not the first director you would think of. Karen Kusama.
Is it an Asian director?
Yeah, I'm pretty
sure.
Hell yeah,
bro! I'm all about that.
I'm pretty sure she's doing the Dracula.
I'm all about that, bro. We need some more fucking inclusiveness in this goddamn industry, bro. It's so white.
Well, anyway, back to the Terminator.
Subject. Goddamn. Someone doesn't want to talk about.
We gotta stay on the point here.
I'm just kidding.
We're talking about Shrek for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even that. If I talked about Shrek for 20 minutes, I would kill myself.
Well, we did. So.
Watch, you're gonna go back to look at the tapes. It's not gonna be 20 minutes.
No, it's not gonna be 20 minutes. It's gonna be like 5.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna go back and it's gonna be 1959. That's how close it was.
So, jeez, you want to hear a funny story about? You want to hear a funny story?
Is it about the Terminator?
Yeah. So this is the first movie I saw at the Cinerama, actually.
R.I.P. Jesus Christ, that's so sad.
I know.
Oh my god, dude, that just like you just like ripped open my stitches, dude. Oh,
payback is a bitch, ain't it?
Oh man, sad boy gang.
Anyways,
are they closed down for good?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
What a bunch of bastards.
What a bunch of bastards. Goddamn COVID.
I'm gonna kill that disease.
I know. Let's go fight it.
Management and the COVID. Kill them.
Got my karambit. Let's cut them.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is the first movie I ever saw at Cinerama. I went. I think Emerald City Comic Con was going on. They were doing.
Oh, cool.
They were doing showings of certain movies. So I went with my brother, and our showing there was a Q&A with Michael Biehn, Kyle Reese.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's cool.
So he answered some questions about the movie. He talked about certain scenes. Like he talked about so there's that part where he comes back through time in the alleyway, and that guy
naked
hands on the ground. He was just talking about, he was saying stuff like, and that, okay, the stunt guy, they had him up high, like 10 feet or something, and then he just fucking wham right on the ground. It was awesome. I was sitting maybe 30 feet away from him. It was really cool. And then they had a Q&A section, and he asked this question in particular. I remember he asked, what was the name of Sarah Connor's roommate's boyfriend, the actor that played him? He called on me. I said Rick Rozovich, and he went, wow. And I got an autographed movie poster. I still have it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Stuff. Being a nerd fucking pays off. Take that, job.
Damn fucking straight. Then we watched some trailers for some movies he was coming out with, that he was making with his wife, producing and so forth. And then we watched The Terminator, and that shit was badass.
I bet it would be a better experience at the cinema. I mean, every movie is a better experience at the cinema.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was just the house was just rocking, man. Everyone was loving the scenes. I remember this one little part. So there's the part with the iguana. They introduced Sarah Connor's iguana, and I just whispered,
"Ugly, bro."
Hold it. I just whispered this, Gojira, and then I heard some chuckles around me. That was a lot of fun.
Gojira. That's awesome.
Yeah, me and my brother got to sit 30 feet from Michael Biehn. It was a dream come true.
Dude. That's super tight.
And I got to speak to him.
And he gave you, and he was impressed that you were such a fucking nerd.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
Yeah. The Q&A was great. He talked about not just Terminator, but like the rest of his career. He even mentioned Blood Dragon at one point. That was awesome.
Blood Dragon? What the fuck is that?
Far Cry 3
video game.
Oh, right. Was he a part of that somehow?
That's wild.
He's the voice of Rex Power Colt.
Oh, cool. The main guy.
It's so funny. He's so fucking funny in that game.
Oh, it's his likeliness too.
Yeah.
Looks like. Yeah,
and
that's cool.
And also, it's talking about inspiration for a bit. So there's a famous promotional photo of Michael Biehn in his future getup with his laser gun and everything.
Yeah.
That was the inspiration for Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, cool.
The original.
Yeah, they like stole the art, didn't they? Because they're like, this is what they're gonna want. This is cool.
Yeah. Oh god, I love this movie. It's a shame you guys don't love it the same way I do, but I just love it.
I can recognize your reasoning for loving it, and I'm not hating on you for doing it. I completely understand how you could like fall in love with this movie. Like I absolutely see that.
Yeah, I respect you. I just love a little history movie, even besides the Cinerama showing. Just I the cliche. I grew up with this movie, but strangely, I didn't. You know what? That's the funny thing too, because I watched Terminator 2 first, but it was because this movie was more violent than the last one, and I had to wait a few years before I could watch that one. But when I did, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that you watch when we do Blade Runner. I hope that you watch it and you fucking dislike it and you can shit on my favorite movie.
I hate to disappoint you there, but I love it.
It's okay. I mean, it's fucking, it's phenomenal. So I mean,
I'll find something to shit on at some point.
I'll probably agree with you, honestly.
No. No, I challenge you guys. Find me a movie that I will just tear the shit out of.
I already did.
I got some Von Trier's I want to watch.
Oh god.
I already gave you Reflections of Evil, so I'm good. I did
No,
my job.
like a famous movie, like an actual
Are
movie scene.
we ever gonna watch Serbian film?
Hell no.
Hell no.
What do you mean no?
I watched a review about it, and that's enough for me.
I don't want to be traumatized in this lifetime.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'll pass. I mean, movies don't really make me uncomfortable like that. I've never had them. Actually, that's not true. I got really fucking uncomfortable in Mother.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Jennifer Lawrence.
To the point where I was like, I wanted to cry. I was so uncomfortable.
I was genuinely shocked with that one. I was like, what the hell am I watching?
I know. I left the theater, and Josie and I like drove home, and we were fucking silent the entire time.
Oh,
and it's a 30-minute ride home from the movie theater out here. So,
Chase,
what's up?
The Jennifer Lawrence movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I never saw it.
It's
that's a fun one to recommend today.
It's definitely a watch it once and don't watch it again type thing. Maybe twice. Maybe. You watch it once, not knowing anything about it. You listen to theories about it. You watch it again.
Maybe.
And then but I was so fucking uncomfortable that I won't watch it again.
All right. But yeah, The Terminator, it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's a damn fine film.
In the top 5, top 10, where are you putting it?
Well, I got a lot of favorites, but Terminator I would still call one of my favorite movies of all time. It is amazing.
Like where at?
In my head, it's going in your top 5. That's where I'm putting it.
I don't have
according to me.
Rankings is the thing, because that implies.
I know you don't have a ranking system, but based on relevancy, you bring it up, and how often you say it's your favorite. I'm putting it in your top 5 according to me.
Yeah, it's top 3 for Nick in my head.
Yeah,
a top 2 or something, dude.
Yeah.
Fine. It's like a top 10 or top 20, something like that.
We can talk about this off air, but I watched Pacific Rim recently.
Sounds like we're talking about it now.
Please.
It's I liked it. I liked it a lot. The dialogue is super fucking goofy. But the action is so fucking good that like I didn't even care.
Oh god.
Like I mean, you got to admit, like if this movie was in Japanese, it would be way better.
If Charlie Hunnam
wasn't in it,
been in it, this could have been a lot better.
I agree.
Let's save that for later.
Yep.
Should we get to ratings? I think we've
on Terminator.
All right, Nick, you go first. Your favorite movie. Let's go.
You're gonna watch the numbers plummet. Victor can go second.
All right, this is a 4.5 for me. It's an amazing film. It's got an awesome story, a great world set up already, some complex characters, fast action. The effects are imperfect, but they are still well done for the budget for the most part. It's got the touch, man. Yeah, it's an amazing film. It deserves every bit of recognition it gets.
Word.
I'm going to stick with the score I gave it 5 months ago, because I felt pretty confident at the time. That's how I felt, and that is a 4. But I would say it'd be closer to a 3.5. I don't think, just from recollection, anyways. But I think that I really enjoy the world. I enjoy the lore. It's not really there's not too much explanation. There is, but it's not like overly explained in my opinion. And I just enjoy the simplistic structure of the film, where it's this kind of cat and mouse game. It's very much a sort of thriller noir slasher mixture. I dig that a lot, and it looks good. The acting's good. It's just all around a fun and good film.
It is fun, yeah.
Very fun.
I'm gonna slap a 3 on this one, and I totally get why it's a classic. Like, it's obvious. I like it. Not my favorite movie. Arnold is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
No one else could have done this role. Music works for it. It feels dated to me. The dialogue is goofy to me, but it's definitely, if you haven't seen it, it's one of those movies you need to see in your life at least once.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I would give it a 3.5.
What?
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5.
We're talking about it. I expected 2.
No, I think it's a fucking goofy movie, but again, you can't look past how influential it is. Like, for me, myself, I would probably rate it 2.5 for how much I
like it.
For how much I enjoyed it. But for the fact that it's so influential, I'd raise it. I'd give it an extra star for that. So I'm doing 3.5. I think that again, I think Arnie is a fucking Austrian national treasure, and I'm glad that he started this, and I think the Terminator as a character is so iconic, and he's so cool without really trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I would give it higher stars if it aged better. I just I it's hard for me to take a movie seriously if I'm laughing at every line. So
were you laughing at the whole frickin' when Reese is telling Sarah it can't be bargained with or reasoned with? Don't tell me you're laughing at that.
No. But I mean, some of the dramatic stuff when he was like, "It can't be killed. It's a Terminator." I was giggling. I'm like, okay, dude, chill. Like, but there's some really powerful scenes in the movie that that I think make up for the comic, not meaning to be comedic scenes. So yeah, 3.5. 3.5 Shreks out of 5.
Nice.
I don't buy it.
Well,
Ryan and Victor tell me to go with my gut, but
go with your gut.
No, like I always say like, oh, I give it this rating, but personally it's this rating. It's like, no, just give it that rating. But okay, fine.
Are you saying
reasoning for why it's higher?
I should go lower? You think I should be going lower?
No, don't go.
Give it the 2.5 for Nick.
Don't.
Do it for Nick.
No, I'm pretty solid on 3.5. I was talking shit about it just because I do think I do think the dialogue is super goofy, and I think that's I could it's dated, and that's why it gets 3.5. It doesn't age super well, but still holds up in a lot of people's hearts, and Nick, yours is one of them, and the fact that it's so influential to that many people, I got to give it some cred for that.
Okay, I'll take it.
Well, I think that about sums it up. I think that was a
fucking roller coaster of an episode.
Hold on. Let me. If I said this in this day and context, would this sound outdated to you? I have one of the lines right here.
Okay.
Tell me if this sounds outdated to you. Mothballs, corn syrup, ammonia.
Ammonia. What? She's just listing off what he got from the store to make bombs.
That's a joke!
Yeah. There's another part to that joke. What's for dinner? Plastique. Oh, that's great. You gotta do the whole joke, man. You can't just sample one part of it.
But it's also the way that it's spoken. It doesn't
No, the joke has gone above everyone.
Yeah.
I grabbed random words from the script and read it.
Well, that's a build up to the punchline.
I wasn't reading the joke, I was making a joke.
Mothballs.
Damn. Okay, Ryan, these grumpy gills over here. Oh my god.
Didn't work. Heck.
Hey, better luck next time, mate.
Better luck next time.
So I think we should wrap it up. I think we've talked about these films for over 5 hours, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wanted to spend 5 hours praising it with you.
What was that?
Unfortunately, I wanted that 5 hours to be all praise, and
you can't win them all, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, Nick.
Also, I Am Legend was great.
Yeah.
So I mean, That was your recommendation. Your recommendation was I Am Legend.
Yeah, it holds up a lot better. I Am Legend held up pretty good. It was better than
held really fucking good. So
okay, well, before we wrap things up, did anyone get any questions from anyone?
Shit, man.
Yeah. I didn't get any questions. I can ask someone for questions real quick. Let me see.
God.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
Yeah, well, damn. Okay.
Nobody fucking. TK responded again. He says he hasn't seen the Terminator yet. Good to know.
That's a weird question.
I hadn't seen Terminator. I hadn't seen it yet.
So really?
I hadn't seen it yet. That was the first time.
So we spent 45 minutes talking about a movie you never saw.
No. I'm saying I hadn't seen it when I first started. Until you recommended it. That was the first time you watching it.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I got a question for everyone.
Okay, what's the question?
Favorite guilty pleasure film?
Oh. Okay. Gang. Nick, you go first.
Mine's Terminator.
Your name's not Nick. Mine is Route 666 with Lou Diamond Phillips.
Okay.
You guys have never heard of it, have you?
Nope.
No, I heard it.
Wow. I want to do an episode of that one day. Yeah, basic premise. Some U.S. Marshals go down the old Route 66 road in California. They're stalked by the ghosts of dead criminals. Like they manifest into these zombies with chain gang weaponry, and they start attacking them.
Epic.
That sounds wild.
It's a lot of fun. That's what I would call goofy, not the Terminator.
Well, Terminator was goofy.
All right, Chace, do you have an answer?
It's not. I don't know actually. I can think of one, but it's not really. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely have one, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like actually a guilty pleasure or if I just genuinely like it.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with a guilty pleasures. It's like
I want to say the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Get out.
All right, log out.
I'm sorry. Like if I'm again, that's going to be another one I'll make us watch, and then I can give you guys my point of view of it.
Yeah.
I can guess already. Ryan's going to give it 1 star.
I don't know, maybe, but that's what I want to say is Amazing Spider-Man or something like 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty
funny. Just like just stupid comedies like.
Well, that's kind of smart when you put some thought into it.
Exactly, and so it's like I don't know if I genuinely like it or if it's a guilty pleasure movie. I'm sure I could find something way stupider that I really enjoy. Sonic the Hedgehog was fucking awesome.
That's good to know.
That is I mean, maybe that's a guilty pleasure, but I genuinely enjoyed it. So I actually don't know if I have a legitimate guilty pleasure movie.
That's fair. Maybe it's a dumb question. I don't know.
Victor,
no,
I
no dumb questions, Victor. No dumb questions. You pat yourself on the back right now. I want to hear it.
That's how I hear it. That's how I put myself. Ryan, do you have one?
Oh,
probably the green slime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a fun one.
It's just a classic B sci-fi. So funny.
Complete with a psychedelic rock theme song.
Oh my goodness.
That's such a great song. I learned to play that on bass guitar.
That's good. Everyone should know how to play that.
I got bored one day. I just started learning from ear, and now I can groove.
Good.
I actually do have a guilty pleasure movie.
Okay, let's hear it.
You Don't Mess with a Zohan.
Oh.
Jeez.
That's a guilty pleasure.
I love it. It's so fucking funny, dude. I cannot stand Adam Sandler majority of the time. Uncut Gems was spectacular. But Zohan, dude, holy shit. When I was younger, that stuff made me laugh so hard. Damn hard.
Battleship is another guilty pleasure of mine.
I could see that.
Yeah, well, like, okay, yeah, the the aliens' battle plans don't make any sense in that movie, but it's got some goofy comedy, some goofy cliche Hollywood comedy, and the action scenes are kind of hype. I have to admit, just watching the alien ships versus the destroyer ships, that's pretty badass.
Yeah,
nice.
I never saw it.
I'll say this: it's better than the Michael Bay's Transformers sequels because it's obviously trying to be a Michael Bay Transformers movie, but it's actually better than like the second, third, fourth, and fifth Transformers movie.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking 4 too many.
Yeah, the first one was fine.
I liked the Transformers movies when I was a kid, and then I watched them as an adult, and I'm like, wow, these are fucking awful.
Yeah, thank God for Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee was great.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Victor, did you have a guilty pleasure?
Yes, and it's a film that I will most certainly recommend one day. It is Love on a Leash.
I'm
still waiting.
Come
Love
on.
on a Leash.
I've only seen it twice, but it is endlessly quotable, and it is a hilarious mess. It is. There's nothing else like it. There are two different versions, I guess. If you get the physical release, there is music, and you may be thinking, okay, really music? That's.
What?
But the Amazon Prime version of it has no music at all.
What?
So you get a
Oh
lot of
my
these
goodness.
very awkward, silent bits where there should be music.
Sounds
And
amazing.
What kind of a fucking oversight is that?
it might have had to do with like copyright or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait, are
but
they actual songs by artists, or is it a
like
score?
instrumentals?
What the hell?
There's no score in the film. But yeah, it's it's great. It's amazing. So that's mine.
Can't wait.
Fucking A.
Can't wait for
So,
that day.
Chase, since you want to join us again for the next episode,
Yeah.
you have two choices, I assume, that you'd like to recommend for.
Yes. Yes. First one, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Ryan hasn't watched that yet, and
haven't seen it.
And I'm really excited to talk about it because I think it's such a unique film, and Edgar Wright is just so goddamn good at what he does.
He's a master.
And I'm really excited to talk about it. I love Scott Pilgrim. The music's also fucking great. Visual effects great. I love everything about the movie. So I'm excited to thoroughly talk about it. Yeah. Other one I found out today I want to do is we're gonna do Matrix.
Yeah.
The original Matrix.
I'm gonna have to restart it. I started it like a month ago and watched half of it. I'm gonna have to restart it from the top and watch it again.
That was the first movie I saw at a Dolby Atmos theater.
That was the first R movie I ever saw.
What?
That's probably one of mine too.
R-rated movies. My dad was like I remember it. We got it on. My dad had worked for like a bunch of like rich people, and they had these dope ass mansions that we would house sit at every once in a while. And I remember I couldn't sleep one night, and he was like, "Oh, I'm about to start The Matrix. Do you want to watch it?" I was like, probably like 6. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's a really cool movie. It's kind of scary though. Are you sure you're up for it? I'm like, fuck yeah, Dad, let's get it. And I was obsessed with it.
That's good parenting.
And, sweet.
And I'm not being a sarcastic jerk. That is great parenting.
How long has it been since you've seen it last?
I probably watched it 2 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
It held up then. There's some CG that's rough, but I mean, again, it's ahead of the game for it's not as bad as the sequel. So
let's save that for the episode.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Right on. Good choices. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Like I said at the start, we make sure to leave us a nice comment or give us a like. It would really help. Let us know that people are actually watching the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for listening, everyone, and have a good night. Goodbye.
Stay safe, brothers.
Stay safe.